Hi, YouTube. It's Angela from Grounded Dreamers. And it's really fun to be able to say that since I shifted over from Chronic Joy Tarot. I'm here today to do, we're going to do all signs. We're going to do a quick oracle and a 3-card spread for all the signs. And we'll start with Aries, start at the top here. I'll have the chapters set up in the video so you could scroll through and take it from there. So Aries, your oracle that I pulled for you is passion. Look at that. I love starting right off with this warmth and fire, you know, to go with your fire sign. This oracle deck I'm using is Goddess Dream by Wendy. This is a beautifully illustrated deck. It's got animals in every illustration, and I just adore this deck. I was seeking specifically just an animal deck, and then I saw this one, and yeah, really had to get it in my hands. So let's see what the little 3-card ZenTarot spread is for you, Aries, as it pertains to your passions. You know, it says in the little subline here, it says burning with life's passion. So this is just a feeling of all the, you know, those things that you love, those things that drive you, to put a focus on that at this time, and to know that, you know, what you desire and what you enjoy and what thrills you from the inside should show up in your outer life as well, so that you could let others know what you're about and be that out there, sort of without apology. Just get the things out that that you adore. Which brings me to our first Zen card, sorry, is sharing. This is it. This is that giving of those things that are close to your heart. You know, look how the vibe in these, they just kind of feel the same, you know, that all the lots of red, lots of you know, how there's like sort of fire energies, you know, circling around her. She's holding a candle, she's holding a light, just giving it out, sharing, letting that thing that's within you, that drives you, that burns within you, letting that out and lighting your way, right? And also allowing others to attract to that, to your flame of passion. Then the next tarot card that I pulled to continue, you know, to pay attention to this passion is, I pulled integration. So this is taking those things that are within you and letting them come out into the world, letting it all be present for you, letting your future wishes and your hopes combine with your present and your past, and letting your inner world and outer world, just letting it all be present and all be part of the way you express yourself in the world, your path forward, you know, the things you set your sights on, letting, you know, everything that encompasses who you are in and out, letting that be a part of it. And of course, remembering that some of the aspects of ourselves that are maybe not as desirable, like maybe we've got a perfectionist streak or something, and but letting that be a part of you too, because there are instances where that perfectionism can carry you forward, right? It's just not getting too locked up on one thing only when we're talking about all the aspects of ourselves and our lives, and integrating it all to become the whole. And your final message here is trust. Yeah, this is, you know, giving and sharing of ourselves and putting ourselves out there. There's a vulnerability to it. But if you continue to go with trusting in the unseen and the unknown, and trusting in what could be ahead, you know, for you as a result of sort of outing yourself in this way, you'll find that those who resonate with you and who, you know, belong in your circle, whether it be personal, in person, or, you know, ways that you connect with the world online, or even in your dreams and connecting with spirit world, all the right, you know, the simpatico type of energies, and people will be drawn right to your energy if you're there, if you're showing up with your full authentic self in that way. Okay, next oracle is for Taurus. I love this. For you, Taurus, I got new beginnings. And, you know, this is, it's a you know, several fold. I think it's not just twofold, but new beginnings. We're at the early part of the year. We're getting ready for, you know, to move forward and create our path for 2022. You know, it's in March, mid-March, but still got that new vibe. You know, we were in retrograde most of January, so we're still in that sort of newness feel. And also your birthday's coming up. It's almost time, you know, in the spring for you to, you know, create your new beginning and sort of declare your next trip around the sun. And then also just generally and globally and in a bigger picture type of way, you know, we've been through so much and we're still going through so much to learn and, you know, ways to experience humanity, good and bad, you know, pleasant and not so pleasant, I should say, that we, you know, we forget that the shift, this bigger shift that's happening, that I know if you're here on my channel or here in these spaces on YouTube, you get it. You get that shift is occurring. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be obvious in one flash instant, but there is a movement, you know, occurring toward, you know, more spiritual connection. You know, the world is getting smaller. Excuse me, I have to plug in my laptop. We're going to die if I don't. So we're making that shift. So in that way, this new beginnings vibe is also, you know, globally for you. But let's just let you focus on the thing that you want a fresh start in, Taurus, for you. Okay. And that's what we'll read on with these Zen cards. So the first card I pulled is change. So look at that, Taurus. Yeah, new beginnings mean change. They mean, you know, let's put away, let's let those things that aren't necessary to be sort of in our baggage, in our luggage, in our knapsack going forward, and let's put it down and let's allow for new experiences and new things to put in our knapsack to show up for us. So we're in the midst of it. We're always in the midst of change. And if we could really, you know, I've said it before with this wheel card, it's spinning constant, change is constant. And if we decide to grip onto one moment, one aspect, one way of being, we're going to be caught on the outside of that wheel and we're going to spin till we're dizzy, right? Or maybe even fly off. But resting, finding that central, you know, if you see the yin yang symbol is there in the middle, finding that center to rest in as the chaos and the changes, the constant, perpetual, ongoing change is always there, but finding a way to be at home with it and at peace with it as you start to move in your own rhythm in relation to that change. This is where your sweet spot is, right? And Taurus, I have this card of understanding, and this is kind of making me feel that maybe for some of you, there's a barrier to the other person, to the full communication. There's a barrier to that other thing that you want to accomplish and achieve. Maybe you can't see how you're going to make it there, how you're going to get to that thing you want to change. Maybe it's a part of yourself and you're frustrated. You're trying to, you know, lose or reinvent aspects of yourself, like your tendency to be jealous or something, and you want to quiet that down and create a new way of seeing things, but you can't really see how you're going to get there. It feels like you're so far from it, right? Then this card is representing that those barriers you perceive between you and that thing, the change that you seek, are actually an illusion. If you see how those bars at the top are fading away and there's a gap opening up in the center, and really those barriers are an illusion, and the arrival at that change is right there, right? It's coming up. It's coming soon. And there's nothing really separating you from that which you want. And then I pulled abundance. And look at that. This is arriving in that full richness of life, letting those new beginnings take you to the abundance, letting those re-aiming your arrow sort of energies to set your sights on something new and fresh, bring you right into the seat of abundance. And remember, with abundance, we're not talking only about financial prosperity, but the vibration of abundance, that richness, the fullness of life, appreciating much more and sort of criticizing a lot less, right? Just being in that abundance. And this is where you're headed if you so choose to follow that path. Okay, next we're going to do Gemini. All right, Gemini, your oracle is strength. Know your strength. So there's some self-empowerment vibes here. I'm not talking just strength as a skill or literal physical strength. It could be for you. It could be that you're actually, trying to build up your physical strength or some skills that bring you to the forefront in maybe your career or in some other scenario. But really what I'm getting more is personal, your self-empowerment. And that's coming, it's been forming for well, it's always forming, but you're really beginning to realize it, or you're right on the brink of that. So as it pertains to your own power, it's funny how I pull some cards and I go, oh yeah, that's like is almost what I was thinking. This Thunderbolt card, this is kind of like the Tower in traditional tarot, and it's asking you to lose some of the extra weight, the extra baggage. Some things may need to fall away suddenly. You may experience loss, but I really feel that because we're talking about your personal strength and your own empowerment, that you're in charge of what's going to fall away and what you don't need to carry with you going forward. You can shed some of that stuff, let it fall away. It may feel a little vulnerable and intimidating by all this, lightning and energy in this picture, and see how the people are sort of falling away off of that central figure. But you're in charge of it. You can decide what to let go of, when, how long it will take, for the most part. Some things life gets to us and this stuff just falls away. But that is a really good first step in rebuilding your strength, is letting go of the things that are weighing you down, that are making you feel weak and disempowered. Moving forward from it. This could be people, situations, attitudes, beliefs, characteristics, whatever. This is for you to determine what gets pulled away, what gets left, on the floor as you move forward into your more empowered self. The next guidance here is silence. So as these things are drifting away, or as you're putting them down, you have the opportunity to stay with that energy in the space that you're creating by leaving some of this stuff behind. You can just be in it, instead of, I'm going to dump this and then move on to the next thing and not take a breath in between, not use that space, that silence. This card is showing the full moon right in the third eye, right? So utilize your intuition, utilize what that is ready to expand within. Go ahead and sit with that energy, that sort of empty space that you've created by dropping some of these weighted aspects. And then your final card is compromise. And I'm just going to take this straight out literally and say, a lot of these steps on our way to regaining our power, or really feeling our full strength, takes compromise, because otherwise we're in power struggles, right? Literal power struggles with others, with our competing ideas, with our past paradigms, what we believe to be true in the past and what we want to create. they may be at odds, but we can find ways to find that center way, right? That middle way, like the Buddha has taught. It doesn't always have to be one extreme or the other. We could move through in a more simplified and compatible way with others or other competing ideas or whatever. So that's interesting. I like that sort of centered, chill kind of way to move forward for you. Okay, that was Gemini, right? Now we're going to do Cancer. Cancer, I've got for you inspiration. Begin now. This is like, the start of a path. You could see the sun appears to be held in her hands, but of course it's off in the distance. But she knows that, that end of her path is in sight, and she can hold that vision with her as she moves forward. The little subtitle on this card says, begin now. You have that thing that you want to achieve, that you've been focusing on, that you've been dreaming up, that you've been hoping for. And this is a calling for you to start. It is time. It's time to go ahead and take that first step down that path. And also with inspiration, being inspired to make a move is different than deciding mentally to make a move, right? Being inspired comes from your creativity center. It comes from your emotions. It comes from your intuition, and, being willing to go with the energy, that inspiration brings. So speaking of mental decisions, their first card is mind. Now, Cancer, that's a busy mind, right? It's got a lot going on. This could be how it feels for you. Oh, I want to move forward on my path, but oh my gosh, where do I begin? Step A, step B, 1, 2, 3, so much happening. But this is a calling to be aware of those thoughts and those little nudges that go on in your mind, and shifting it from seeing it as logical steps to seeing it as inspiration, using your inner voice, using your third eye. This card has some third eye highlights too. This figure is lit by this figure's third eye, and then their crown chakra is wide open, bringing in the energy, letting it flow through. So it's really kind of opening up, creating a space from all this clutter, and opening up that intuitive, that internal sort of switch that goes on within you, which is actually absolutely what inspiration is to go toward the nudge, that first nudge you feel, instead of, I got to write a list, I have to make an outline, which is helpful, which is needed. It's concrete stuff that you can use to move forward. But first you must fully feel where you're headed, or feel that path that you want to head down. And then what you have is wide open possibilities. This is one of my favorite cards. I say it every time. It shows how different the viewpoints and the perspectives are between, say, that little tiny field mouse that lives down there at the bottom of the land, whose vision is, just only limited by the blades of grass or the little cricket that's in front of it, or, maybe a couple flowers, a couple petals, but that's its whole world. And what you're creating by shifting from mental to your higher consciousness and allowing the inspiration to carry you forward, at least in the beginning, is creating many more possibilities than you thought were there. You're moving into the space of the perspective of the eagle, who sees the entire landscape, who sees all the possibilities, and can move about freely from one idea to the next without feeling trapped, without feeling limited at all. And your path going forward, Cancer, has the potential to be open and moving more with the flow of things, if you just work on that mental versus higher consciousness sort of combination and maybe a battle, but maybe not, maybe just a little bit of crowdedness that's going on in your mind. Okay, that was Cancer. Next, we're going to do Leo. Leo, let's see what we got for you. Oh, I love this one. I love this one because this is bringing up a lot for me. I am a Leo, and there, you know, I'm got some stuff going on. I'm making changes. You've seen the change of my channel. And what I got for you guys is trust. All is as it should be. Just trust it. Just allow for, you know, the universe to work with you, you know, be on board with the flow and listen for those signs that come through. Be alerted to, oh, look at these cards. Wow. Be alerted to the little nudges that we talked about earlier, that you control, that you can respond. Oh, I feel like I need to do this. I was planning on doing this and going left. And now today I'm kind of feeling going right, and go with it and then see where it takes you, right? First card for you, Leo, is the source. It reminds me of the sunshine. This is also talking about that source within your sort of third chakra energy. But definitely sun, which is your planet. So trusting in your spirit, trusting in the divine to create your path, to create your life. It's all unfolding the way it's supposed to. All is as it should be. The next card that I get for you, Leo, is awareness. So as you begin moving more organically with source, with the divine, toward those things that you desire, and maybe changing course here and there, but still ending up arriving there, it's creating a clarity for you that, oh, all this time I thought I was sitting here nitpicking and controlling and making lists and kicking ass and taking names. Sorry for my language. But really, if I just rest kind of in the center of my being and feel the nudges and go toward those, that's the easy way, right? We still can end up in the same place, you know, with all our lists and plans and worries and struggles and boundaries and all that. But if I just kind of go with it, hey, you know what? This may be, you know, it may be the easier way. And you're becoming more clear on that as you move through the new stages of your life. And then your final card is flowering. So those intentions that have been set are blossoming. They're coming through. They're, you know, this little figure, she's dropping, you know, she's planting her seeds everywhere and then just sits, you know, on her lotus flower and rests and waits, because all of her intentions will come to light. And she trusts that, and she knows that. And by being able to trust that inner guide, along with the decisive action that we need to take as humans, right? We're both, you know, intuitive nudges and wanting to go in this direction. And then, oh, okay, I'm heading in this direction. Is there anything I need to put into place? And then, you know, quickly let that list maker of yours, you know, get on board and make some changes and take some decisive action, and then take a breath again and reassess and go, okay, what's my next step? So that's the path, that's the pattern there. And as you go further with this stuff, Leo, the awareness, it just becomes more and more clear where you're headed and how you want to arrive there, how you will arrive there. Okay, next we have Virgo. So Virgo, what I got for you, your oracle is a simple one in nature. Look how beautiful, just beautiful, these imagery. I love these cards. Connect with nature. This is your calling to be more in the flow of the planet, of nature. Maybe you've been working, you know, in an office or in a big city, or working from home and not getting out much and not being able to connect with the elements as much as you'd like. And this is a calling to add that in you know, create that in. And if you already do, if you already get out, maybe you go for a run every day, really absorb your environment instead of just being out, you know, absorb it, feel the air that moves in and out of your body, allow for that, you know, that force, that life force that's always there in nature. Allow yourself to assimilate with it, to become part of it, to move with it. This is probably, you know, if you're feeling a certain amount of stress lately and feeling a little bound up with thoughts and ideas and not being able to make decisions, then being in nature, that is the calling. That is the way to sort of let the air out of the bubble and just exhale for a minute. So yeah, I got it. I got, for you, Virgo, I got the indecisiveness card. It's called schizophrenia in this deck, but for me, this is, excuse me, a mental energy that is a feeling of stuckness. I don't know what to do. This figure is saying, do I let go of my feet? Do I let go of my hands? What, you know, where am I going to end up? The response to this, and the only way out of this situation, is letting go. Let it fall away. Let those worries fall away. The easiest way to get in touch with that is to be in nature. Put your mind in the flow of life. Sit and watch the birds, breathe in the air, make, you know, see what pictures the clouds are making for you today. You know, see the animals, you know, the birds and the dogs and the kitties and whoever's out there in your part of the world. You don't have to live in a forest to be with nature, or, you know, at the ocean or whatever. You can go to a park, find plant life. You could, you know, go visit a friend that has a lot of animals and just be with them. They're part of nature as well. They're part of that force of life, that natural flow. And that helps to take, you know, the sting out of things. That helps to kind of recenter you. That letting go card is going to be important. And then what I get is experiencing, and this is what I was just saying, be in it, be in that nature. This woman is walking past this tree, but she stops to fully embody it, fully experience it. It's hugging her with its branches. She's probably feeling the leaves or, you know, feeling them in her hands and watching them fall to the ground, and, you know, being with the energy of that tree. It's alive and it's a part of life's force, and being able to align with that is what helps us as humans recenter and be able to move forward again with a little more ease. Okay. All right, Virgo. Our next one is Libra. Oh, look at you, Libra. Okay, so your oracle is free spirit. Be your own person. Love it. I love it. Be sure to show up, you know, as your full self. And I understand, you know, your tendency, I'm trying to think of the word, your tendency for fairness and balance and equality and being just. But in all of that, you must shine from your inner being out. You must allow for your uniqueness to be part of the conversation, because your ability to, you know, find that balance, find that fairness in which is part of, you know, the very center of who you are. It starts with your uniqueness and your own qualities, and not being afraid to show up as you. So go for it. Whatever it is that's tickling your fancy right now, Libra, go for it. You got this. And look at these cards. So I got aloneness as my first draw. Remember, this is not being lonely. This is not being in the absence of another, but the presence of yourself. So aloneness is empowering. This is you, the presence of you, the full presence, showing up, getting the ideas out there, gathering up the people that you want to work with and create with, but the whole time, whatever's tickling your fancy, that's what you go toward. And then the other two cards that were surrounding this, you know, I'm on my own. I can do this on my own. I've got this. Success and celebration. So I dig this. It's like, you know, you can think what you want of me, but here I am. And those things that I want to achieve are achievable in my specific way, right? And I will find the success as I am. Perfect. This card kind of indicates that maybe there's a three, maybe two other people you're co-creating with. Maybe you're doing it for, maybe you have three kids and you're doing it for them. Setting, you know, being that free spirit to set the example for your three. But also it doesn't have to be so literal. It's just that joyous feeling of the full embodiment of your own self, your own spirit showing up in the world with whatever it is you want to achieve, whatever it is you're doing. Okay, Libra. Next is Scorpio. I won't skip you next. I skipped you last time. I'm sorry. Okay, Scorpio. Your oracle. Okay, I love this for you. This is you in the depths of the water. Letting go, emotional release. And look at all that water imagery. Just feeling it through, feeling it deeply, and letting it move past, letting it move on. If we cling and hang on to those things that try our emotions, it weighs us down. We'll end up sinking right into the abyss. But, and you know, no problem, Scorp, because you can go deep. You can sink deep and be down there in the depths, but there are also times to release and rise to the surface, right? To let some of that go and rise to the surface and to catch air, you know, get your head above water. And this calling for you to, you know, engage in sort of a deep let go is an important factor for your path going forward. And you know, you got this. It's not like you don't know how to feel those feelings, right? But the process is, you know, feel them fully and then let them go behind. Those feelings that aren't helping us, that are making us feel a little bit weighed down. Those are the ones I'm talking about. So I've got for you, slowing down, take a step by step. You know, that turtle, he's not rushing ahead, right? His foot is right under him. And in the next step, it will be right under him again. Slow it down, let your pace be even almost a little unnatural for you, for what you're used to, right? Slow and steady kind of vibe. Let's not think ahead too far. Let's just feel this fully now and let it wash through us and beyond us. And then we're able to move on to our next step. And that's kind of where you're at right now, Scorpio. Let go of some of that extra emotional weight. I got turning in, another water imagery there. So as we slow down, we tune in to our inner self and we decide and think about those things that are keeping us in place, that are weighing us down, kind of like anchoring us into the depths of our own ocean, of our own sea, which we don't want to stay in place, right? It just keeps us in one spot. So we want to tune in to our inner being, let all those, see the haunted figures above her head, let all those thoughts and worries and past issues and negative connections, let them all be there, but not be your focus. Your focus is on your well-being. Your focus is on your alignment and on your choice, your choices of what to carry with you going forward and what to leave behind. And this is emotionally I'm talking about. And then your next card is new vision. Look at all the lightness and brightness and reaching we have there. After this sort of quiet depth with the figures overhead that are almost haunting her, now we've got sparklies and starseed and things to reach for, and you know, I love the geometric angles and figures that we have here. And if you don't really can tell, this figure, she's rooted down. And look at her, there's a figure under her that is, I'm taking it as those feelings and emotions that you're letting fall away, that you're just gonna go ahead and bury and let them go deeper into the earth as you reach your sights toward those new things. This card really reminds me of grounded dreamers, of that's the same kind of a feeling to me. Stay rooted, but reach, right? And first step is to let go of those feelings that are keeping you sort of anchored in place. Okay, Scorp. All right, next we have Sag. Okay, Sag, what do we have for you? Well, courage. I got courage. And this says courage in the face of conflict. This is beautiful. She's powerful. So when you find yourself, Sag, in conflict, and this could be in a literal conflict with another, this could be conflicting ideas, conflicting choices that you have to make. It's asking you to go ahead and tap into that center of you that knows, that really knows where you need to head, instead of worrying about what others think or trying to learn from past experiences and make decisions based on old patterns and old ways of being. You can create new. And that takes the courage of knowing yourself fully and showing up fully as yourself. I've got for you, let's see. I pulled too many, but I'll just do these. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I have past lives. This is indicating those old patterns that maybe you want to break. And maybe it might take a little bit of inner strength and courage and new insight and awareness to break them. But the trick is you have the awareness of the patterns. So say maybe this is an old cycle that you find yourself in with a mate, or a partner, or in your family, or your own work life, just old things that keep cycling over. It's time now to break the pattern, and you have what it takes. You have that energy and that courage of spirit to do what it takes to break those patterns. I pulled the outsider because maybe there's some of you that feel that those patterns you want to break, or the new space that you want to embody, is unachievable, or that you're separated from it. Remember, this guy is standing outside the gate, really wishing he was over there in the rainbow world, but just feels detached from it, or locked out, or uninvited, not allowed to go. But that lock on the gate, remember, it's not engaged. This little lock on the chain, all he has to do is open that gate and take that first step. This is where you're at. The courage comes from taking that first step. And then your outcome is, or your final card, insight, is we are the world. It's a collective effort. Bring in your spirit guides in the process as you feel. If you feel alone and that you can't muster up what it takes, sit and ponder and realize and connect with all that, the spirits that are with you, the people that have passed away that you still hold in your heart, people also in your vicinity, people that you may not know, right, that are out there somewhere in the world. Feel into maybe, in order to find your courage, you need to feel into the way someone from another culture moves through their challenges, and maybe you feel inspired to get into that energy and find a new way for you to go ahead and show up as your full self. I think there's a lot of different ways that we can connect with others, even if it isn't physically, that are, energetically always works, right? I connect with you guys energetically. I don't know you. I probably will never spend time in person with you, but I feel you. And that's how these readings come about. Okay, We just did Sag, and now we're going to do Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. Your card is bright future. Look at that. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. And look at that, lighting the way forward. So maybe for some of you, Capricorn, you felt a little stagnant, a little stuck, a little maybe discouraged about your path forward. You know, if you're just thinking in terms of where we've all been in the last couple of years, it's a little discouraging to think, oh my gosh, is this what it is now? Is this what's going to be forever? Right? But we adapt, we shift, we're able to make changes to keep our motion forward. Once we stop having something to look forward to or something to be hopeful about, that takes a lot of it just really deflates our inner being. So it's creating that, you know, next part of your path, lighting the way, going ahead and setting your sights on that next thing. And for you, I got creativity. So maybe this is a creative endeavor. Maybe your inner inspiration just has been dormant for a little while, but look at the similarities there. The light, you know, she's holding this ball of energy that's lighting the way, and she's holding the lantern to light the way. I love it. And the flow, the way the goose is flowing, and she's got to flow forward this way with, you know, you could feel the energy. If you feel like the swooping here and the swooping in her gown, that it's coming out, it's being born out of you, and your path is being set for you. It's a matter of attuning to that forward, that light that's ahead, tuning into that. I've got for you the Lovers. This could mean working with a partner. This could mean, you know, like if it's a creative project and you have a partner that you're working with. This could also mean your own heart and the compassion that's in your heart. And maybe that's part of what you want to utilize to move forward into your future. This could be a literal, I'm hoping to have a lover in my future, and you're moving toward it. But be sure to go from the inside out. Your inner world and your inner creativity and that spirit that is you within is the light that carries you forward. Okay. And then your final card is transformation. The shift is coming. You're emerging from your old self into that newness. You're moving toward your future with your path lit, that you're lighting yourself from your inner being. Remember that this is your creation. Your path is up to you. Okay. All right, Cap. We're going to do now Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, for you, I got intention. And the little tag here line says spinning fate. It talks about, you know, sort of like how we sometimes think of intention as planting seeds and then watching them blossom, like we saw earlier with that flowering card. Well, this is actually kind of the same vibe, but she's spinning. She's creating, there's a baby in there. She's creating, it's giving birth to new ideas, giving birth to maybe new creative projects, but it starts with your intention. It starts with your decision that this is what I want to create. And then going ahead and getting the materials, getting the yarn and spinning it and creating that thing out of nothing that started with sort of your dream and your inner vision. Okay, Aquarius, let me see what I got here. Well, I've got for some of you, there's a possibility that you're coming out of a sort of a darker period, out of a place of grief or loss. I pulled sorrow, but that was your first card. So I feel like that's your starting point. And from this sorrow that we all go through, we cycle in and out of easy spaces and not so easy spaces, and buoyant and feelings of vitality, and then denser, lower vibrational feelings. We all do this. And this could indicate that you're coming from this. This is either your starting point or your very recent past. And the space that was created from that loss, from that sorrow, is actually waiting to be filled now. And the way you fill that is by setting your intentions forward. And then what do I have? Receptivity. So in that space that was created by this darker energy, by moving through this darker energy, is the ability to receive the new messages from the universe. It's kind of the same thing there. Receive what's out there, receive what's coming through, and set your intention going forward. Set that intention, have the vision, be clear on what it is you want, and then leave it. And then wait and receive the signs and the nudges from the divine that are always present. And for you right now, it's a super reminder that you are the creator of your experience. You were even the creator of this experience. You went through this so that you could leave some stuff behind, create the space, feel lighter, feel more receptive, and move forward to the next thing. And you're creating every step of that path. This is also a card of the third chakra, sort of that self-empowerment, that will center of your being. So know it. Know what your intentions are, and then go ahead and set your sights, and then receive the response from spirit that will guide you toward exactly what it is that you want to achieve. Okay, Pisces. Okay, look at that. For you, I got direction. Where are you heading? There's a lot of this. I really feel that this, a lot of these cards today, and I'm blasting through it, so I'm not really retaining everything that I've said just now. It's almost like a channeling. It's just constantly coming through. But I'm feeling like for a lot of us, we're in a fresh start kind of a place. And I love that. Now for you, Pisces, you get to decide, where am I heading? What's next for me? What, sorry, my throat. What do I want to add into my life that carries me to my next step? What do I want to engage in? What do I want to experience? And for you, I feel like you're kind of further down the road right now than you thought you would be, as far as that goes. Maybe it doesn't feel like it, but you are, because with this, where do I want to head? I got rebirth right off the bat. This is that energy of, we kind of all go through these three phases where we're sort of dormant, 3D kind of I'll just be here. I'll just live and breathe and eat and sleep and go to work and exist. Then every now and then in our life, we kind of roar back. We kind of speak out and say, this is what I want to do. This isn't right, or I'm bored with this and I need to create new waves, right? And then we become that lion that speaks out loudly. And then from that is born a new aspect of ourself. A new sense of emergence comes through. And it's perfect timing, because this is asking, where do you want to head? And your answer is, I want to emerge, let that new aspect of my higher self come through, and let that guide me. You're getting this down. I've got maturity. This is like the wisdom. This figure, so yeah, what direction do I want to head? But this figure doesn't seem too concerned with it. Kind of just knowing, resting in that knowing that whatever it is that I want to manifest and create, it's waiting for me to receive it and to recognize it and experience it. So I've got this. I'm good, right? There's not a lot of urgency there, because you already know it's coming. But set your sights on it. And then your final card that I got for you is a repeat of the other one, is success. And this one is, a culmination of the work you've done, the intentions you've set, the cycles that you've gone through of trying and failing and trying and stopping and trying and getting detoured. We all go through this, but with this maturity card here on the forefront for you, you're learning not to respond so heavily to those setbacks. You're just like, yeah, it's part of it. It's part of the cycle, and I'm good. You know, I can wait for the next sign to come for me and show me and, you know, point my toes down the path that I want to head down next. That's what's bringing you success. And this may not be like this outer success and I have all this and I've achieved all these material things, but this is more of an inner achievement that you are really beginning to feel. Okay. All right. That will do it for now. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me, being here, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Bye.